Have you ever wondered how AI could save you hours of work by simply predicting what comes next? What if you could reduce the time it takes to edit code or update a document by half without starting from scratch? Well, OpenAI's latest feature, Predicted Outputs, is doing just that. It's revolutionizing how we interact with AI, making tasks like editing code, updating documents, and even tweaking large datasets faster and more efficient. Curious to see how this game changer could speed up your workflow? Let's dive into the details. OpenAI recently launched a feature called Predicted Outputs for their GPT 4.0 and GPT 4.0 mini models, and it's already transforming how quickly AI can assist us, especially for anyone using it for coding, content creation, or speeding up everyday tasks. Here's how it works. Imagine you're using AI to edit code or work on a document. Normally, even with advanced models, each word or piece of code gets generated one at a time, which can take a while. But with predicted outputs, you can give the model a preview of what you expect it to say or do, so it doesn't need to start from scratch. It can use your input as a base, fill in just what's new, and skip the parts you've already nailed down. The result? A lot fewer steps, and a response that comes much faster. How much faster exactly? OpenAI's tests reveal that using these predictions for code editing, for instance, speeds things up 2 to 4 times. If you're working with something substantial, say a lengthy code file or a large document, that might have taken around 70 seconds before, predicted outputs can cut that time to about 20 seconds. So, in some cases, you're looking at getting results in less than half the time. The concept is simple but powerful. Instead of asking the AI to create everything from scratch, you give it a suggestion or prediction about part of the response. Let's say you're adjusting a code snippet and only a couple of lines need changing. By providing the parts that stay the same, the model only has to focus on the few lines that need tweaking, rather than regenerating the entire piece. This feature shines in tasks that are repetitive or follow a pattern. For example, if you're updating an article, adjusting small sections of code, or making minor changes to a big dataset, predicted outputs allow you to skip over the unchanged portions. The AI doesn't waste time generating what's already there and can zero in on the updates you actually need. If you or your team have been thinking about using AI to improve your business operations, boost productivity, and elevate customer support, ChatGPT 4.0 might just be the solution you've been searching for. The best part? Unlike ChatGPT 4.0, it's completely free for all users. But here's something important. Predicted outputs aren't designed for creating entirely fresh, unique content. If the task has no predictable or repeated elements, like writing something brand new, then this feature won't be helpful. Predicted outputs are best used in situations where there's a base, a pattern, or something partially known that the model can rely on to finish the task faster. OpenAI didn't stop there. They've tested this feature across several programming languages like Python, JavaScript, Go, and C++, and found that it works really well with all of them. So, if you're a developer working with any of these languages, this could save you a lot of time. Now, you might be wondering if you can use this feature with every model. Here's the scoop. It only works with GPT 4.0 and GPT 4.0 mini. But there are some limitations you should be aware of. For example, it doesn't support certain advanced API settings that you might use in other cases. If you're used to asking for multiple outputs at once, using function calls, or getting probabilities with log props, this feature won't work with those setups. OpenAI suggests using predicted outputs for tasks that are more controlled and predictable in nature to get the best results. Let's dive into an example to understand this better. Imagine you're refactoring some TypeScript code. You have a class called user with a property named username, but you need to change that property to email. The rest of the code stays pretty much the same, so you can give GPT-4 the existing code as a predicted output. Then, when you prompt it to make the change, it will only update that one line. No need to rewrite the whole thing from scratch. Here's a cool technical bit to think about. When the model processes your prediction, it tracks how many tokens it accepts and how many it has to reject. Tokens that match your prediction are processed quickly, while rejected tokens, those the model doesn't end up using, are discarded, but you still get charged for them at the regular completion rate. There's a bit of strategy involved here. If your prediction is close to what the model generates, you'll save time and maybe even reduce the number of tokens used. But if your prediction is way off, you'll still pay for the extra work. To speed things up even more, OpenAI has also introduced a way to use this feature with streaming. This means you don't have to wait for the entire response to load at once. Instead, the API sends the response in chunks. So as each part is generated, it gets streamed to you in real time. This way, you can display it or process it as it comes in, cutting down on delays. Another great thing about this feature is that it doesn't matter where your predicted text appears in the response. It could be at the start, in the middle, or at the end. It all gets factored in. The AI can recognize your predictions no matter where they are, making the process faster. Here's an example to show how this works. Say you're working with a simple JavaScript server setup using a library called Hano, and you need to add a new route. You can provide the model with the code that already has the server structure set up. When you ask it to add a new route that responds with "Hello World," it doesn't have to think about the rest of the code. It just adds that one line, saving time by using the structure you already predicted. One of the standout features of GPT-4o is its ability to enhance customer service. It has voice prompting capabilities, which means it can act as a voice assistant, responding to real-time questions and taking commands based on your needs. For example, during a demo, OpenAI presenters asked GPT-4o to tell a bedtime story. Not only did it respond immediately, but it also adjusted the tone of its voice as the story progressed. When the presenters asked it to sound more dramatic, GPT-4o followed their instructions perfectly. So what are the limitations? Well, aside from being restricted to certain models, there are some settings that just aren't compatible with predicted outputs right now. For instance, you can't use max tokens when working with predictions. And if you're looking to generate audio, mix different media types, or call functions in the API, predicted outputs won't work for those tasks. One more thing to note is that even if your prediction isn't perfect, you'll still end up processing all the tokens you've provided. So, if your prediction text has 100 tokens but the model rejects 20, you'll still be charged for the full 100 tokens. Essentially, the feature will save you time, but not necessarily money, unless you're careful with how you use it. For your business, GPT-4o's voice prompting could revolutionize how your customer service department operates, delivering instant and emotionally intelligent responses to customer inquiries. Whether it's handling angry or frustrated customers, GPT-4o can empathize with them and offer effective solutions. This will save your team time and allow them to focus on more complex interactions, ultimately improving the customer experience. For developers, OpenAI's documentation explains how to implement this feature. But here's a basic breakdown. Let's say you're using JavaScript and need to refactor a TypeScript class. You'd input your code snippet as a prediction, and then, using a chat completion prompt, you'd specify what changes you want, like changing the username property to email. The AI will pick up on your prediction and only update that specific part, saving you from rewriting everything. In practical terms, predicted outputs are perfect for anyone dealing with repetitive tasks. Think bloggers updating old content, developers adjusting their code, or data scientists making small tweaks in datasets. For example, if you've got a list of blog entries that need minor updates instead of regenerating everything, you can pre-fill what stays the same, and the AI only has to add the new parts. The more predictable the task, the better this feature works. If you're thinking about integrating AI models into your business, connect with data pilot experts today to get a competitive edge. OpenAI recommends starting with small, controlled tasks to test out how much time you can save. Since predicted outputs take a bit of trial and error, starting with simple predictions can help you avoid getting charged extra for rejected tokens. When it comes to data security and privacy, one of the biggest advantages of using GPT-4o in your business is its top-notch security. GPT-4o provides enterprise-level security measures, including TLS 1.2, to protect data while it's being transmitted and adhere to SOC 2 standards for added compliance. This setup ensures that your business data and customer information stay protected. OpenAI has implemented strict domain verification steps to prevent unauthorized access, making GPT-4o a secure choice for any organization. So there you have it. OpenAI's predicted outputs in GPT-4o are truly changing the game, streamlining your workflow, saving you time, and making everyday tasks much easier. But just like with any new tool, there are challenges, right? Whether it's figuring out how to make your predictions spot on or understanding the limits of this feature, it's all about trial and error. But once you get the hang of it, the efficiency gains are undeniable. So what do you think? Do you see this feature being useful in your workflow, or can you think of a specific way to apply it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for being with us through this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your subscription helps us continue creating quality content for you.